we'll do is we'll talk through this data set a little bit more. Let's go through the data sources. So we see the NAICS codes, we see the NAICS digits, we see the year, and one of the things is you see this new merge column, and basically the idea is, if I go back to my dashboards, I deleted something. I built something off.
Undo.
Yeah, undo is your friend, undo is your buddy, undo. But basically, what I'm looking at this chart right here. This table. This shows the parishes in Louisiana upon which an interstate moves. I-20, I-49, 55, 12, and 10. Now, you will see, like, St. Martin Parish is actually split in the middle by Iberia Parish because a clerk in, like, the 1830s did not recognize that Iberia Parish did this, and no one ever corrected it in the 1830s, so it stayed on until now.
Good.
And for those of you wondering, this is actually the culinary capital of Louisiana. Is Lafayette, not the Creole capital, but the Cajun culinary capital. And so anyway, so all these are parishes which the interstate runs through. So basically what I did is I know the parishes, and I can do a filter, like this is I-40. So Neil, one of the things I was thinking about doing is doing an M64 corridor as an example using some of these data sets.
Yeah.
Because that's the only multi-state corridor that ends and begins in the ITTS region that does not transit a non-ITTS member state.
Interesting.
Well, I'm sorry, you're just going to benefit from the corridor that I can do all my research on and not have to worry about explaining this to a non-ITTS member state. So
Hey, we'll take it.
I figured you would. So the idea for me is we can select these corridors. Now this economic topography, again, this is whether or not it's agriculture, manufacturing, I just know all the codes. Non-specialized.
Can you show the aliases, or do they not have aliases?
There is aliases, but for some reason I put economic topography and I didn't put the alias in.
And Bruce, so you manually determine which counties these were instead of having some sort of ability to...
No, I like, for instance, Strong, I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to do a new map. Oh, I'm sorry, the dashboard. I'm doing a new map. I'm going to do state. And we're going to limit it to Mississippi. Okay. Keep only. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at, we're going to put the rows, and the way that it handles this is all the roads that's in the 41,000 mile network. Okay? So you get all these goofy little naming because the way that HPMS does things, it'll have something called I-55, I-55, State Route 7, or you get an I-20, MS underscore I-20, I-20 without a period, I-20 with a period. Yeah. So it just got to be such a dog's breakfast. I couldn't figure out a quick and easy way to do that. So what we're going to do in the merge column is we're going to come here and we're going to do a filter, and we're going to just pick an interstate. Which one you want to use? 20?
Sure.
55?
55.
55. So these are all the things that are 55. Now, this is the interesting thing. All these filters, all these 55s are all over the U.S. Okay? But we're only going to keep the ones that are in Mississippi.
Right.
So why did it not? I don't know why. That's the thing, you get so impatient.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I kept building these little small data sets, because I hate sitting there going tap, 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 tap.
Yeah, it's kind of slow sometimes. It's hard like catching up with you.
Yeah, so it's in there. So here, does this one have the filter?
Yeah, 44 out of...
Okay. Well, why is all these 55 still not showing up? You should not be here. Okay. I'm just going to remove. Okay, Chung, this is basically, I took the new merge folder, I bring it in, I want to filter. No, that's not where I want to put it. Put it as a row. No, I'm just going to drop it in here. And I only want to do 55. So I got a wildcard, it contains 55. I hit OK. And then I'm going to bring the new merge in. And so, bring it down to the row. So these are all the, now, so I want to look at what counties. So I just bring the county name in. And these are the counties.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have some counties like Hines and Rankin, which I-20 and I-55 both go through. But, so you can...
You have to switch them.
Yeah, I could switch them. I could bring them here. And then, one or two Trung, you can always do a sort on southern to northern. I don't know which counties are southern or northern. And then I just put employment in here. And I limit the NAICS codes, because you have to pretty much always limit the NAICS codes, because if not, you will get the duplication. And now we do a show me. And this is basically showing you where the counties are. Now remember, we had multiple rows, so we go back to our sheet. It's trying to put all these multiple rows in there. So we're just going to hide Mississippi. I'm sorry, hit everything underneath there. So we're just going to take Mississippi and we're just going to move it right here. Now we come back, and of course we're seeing all the flows, but if we come to this element, again we get the same thing. How did I do it for the other ones? I can't remember how I did that. Oh, I know what I did. Sorry, Trung, I have to think out loud sometimes. What I did is I just... it's already here, so just remove. And there it is. Sometimes I just gotta step back and remove my head from myself. So anyway, Charlie, did you see what I did? What happened is I was keeping all these rows. When I went to the thematic layers, it was keeping all these rows as panes. So basically, if I come here and I just remove it, there's no more rows, so it all stays in the table, and I can always make the size. I can always make the size bigger, or I can go to this layering and I get this information.
Great.
And if I want to put an employment in here as a label, I can, and now I have the number of jobs. And if I want to, so I have a year. I don't have a year in here either. I'll do year, 2014. There. Now I have the number of jobs per year in this quarter. Now it's there, it's just because of the nature of spacing it doesn't show up, but if I zoomed in, it would show up on the map.
Thanks,
So,
Bruce.
I'm sorry?
Thanks.
Well, no, I mean, I'm trying to figure out a way to build this feature so that I can do rail corridors, water corridors, and highway corridors. Because I can't, right now, if I was going to do this same thing in the Delta, I'd have to manually figure out which counties or parishes are on the Mississippi River. But if I can find a way to snap the counties to the corridors through some GIS tools, I should be able to do that. And I've been looking at the rail data set, and I should be able to do the rail corridor. So that basically you could take the CN network and look at what goes on the CN network from the county business pattern data set perspective. You can take the NS network, you can take the UP network, and look at where their counties are. And if I wanted to, I could always come back through and add through here this rural, this is economic topography, this is actually, okay. Because I know what the field is. My fault, Trunk, for clicking on something I know I shouldn't have clicked on. But and I can always add to this layer, whether or not it's which of these counties are rural, non-rural. Actually, that didn't work. There's too many elements on there. So I've got the county by the highway segment. So, for instance, if you wanted to do something and estimate how much of this network is a percentage of the state, I would come here and I would say, new merge column. I'd create this as a set. And I'd call this set I-55. I-55 counties. So if I go to another data set, I can keep in the dashboard. I can go to another data set, and I can pull that in.
Sets at the bottom.
Oh, okay, sets. So I pull my I-55 counties in here, Trong, and I can make a comparison of whether or not they're in or out, obviously Mississippi. So then I'd bring state in. I'll make state a filter. Should have put it there. Didn't click happy. Needs to be a filter here. So now I have I-55, what's in or what's out. I'm going to do year. I'll put year across the top. You want me to help you write a grant for I-55, Trung? It seems like that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, it does.
And then I put employment in it. And so they're basically, now again I have the NAICS codes problem, so I gotta do something with the NAICS codes. Basically that's of the people in Mississippi, that's how many of them are in the I-55, how many are out. I'm just trying to figure out. If I want to look at the counties, I can zoom drag the counties over again. Let's see which counties are in and which counties are out. So, I think Hinds County was 3. In
Is it going to
Arkansas.
Hinds County, Arkansas?
That's what it's doing. I didn't realize Arkansas. Okay, so you've got state. That is the filter. This one, Mississippi. Okay, good. Undo a filter. And that's the problem we run into sometimes is you get these dictations. Filter. Already built it as a field. Put out counties. And locations.
State.
That's what it's giving me. It's trying to look at this. Okay, I was looking up all the counties that we're in. So why is Hinds County
Hinds Station.
out? It's in. Doesn't make any sense.
What year is it in?
No.
99.
I'm thinking what happened is when I brought it in, I might have. You also see the same thing with Rankin County. That's interesting. Okay, Trung, I'm going to have to figure out why this one's showing up like this in this multiple where every other county is accurately captured.
Okay. Sorry to get you sidetracked.
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry to get you sidetracked.
No, I mean, but to me, Trung, this is what I think the states need is this type of information at a quarter level. And if we can't figure out how to make it work, then the question is, why not? And that's why I need to make sure I'm trying to figure out why Hinds is included and not included. So I'll go back to my set that I created. And I'll figure out why is it included and not included. Okay, John, that's a question for me to have to look through a little bit more. Because the number is right here. It's just why is it not right in this? Okay, Trung, I figured out what the error is. Basically, I've got a lot of in this field. I have a lot of duplicate file structures, and so it's pulling out different files and from different structures. Like I just did a sort on Mississippi and a sort on Mississippi. I shouldn't. So this is a database problem. The data's there. It's just I need to format it better because I got too many states giving me too many conflicting values.
Okay.
So that's a problem back here, Trung, in this column here, where I've got, if I do a sort fields, you'll see I've got noise, I've got population, I've got census here, I've got county here, county here, county here, I've got state, county here. I've got too many things, state, and it's just, I'm getting conflicts. It doesn't know which state to use. If it doesn't know what state to use, it doesn't know which file to do the link to.
It's a formatting problem.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah, it's a data consistency problem. So Troy, so just to show you the data is there and you can use it for these types of analysis. I just have to clean up why the data to make sure I don't have this problem in the future. So, let's see. Who else is still on the phone? Troy, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. The last data set that I was talking about is a U.S. GDP data set. And basically this data set has information on NAICS codes about establishments, and it has BEA area, it has a number of establishments, it has employment, and it has a lot of the same information in the commodity flow survey, but because this is only done at a state level, it does not get the same missing data elements that you get in the county business pattern data set. So you would use this one to fill in the gaps like Claiborne County, which didn't show up. You would use this one to help calibrate why Claiborne County didn't show up. And of course some of the same structures. BA region, it's got the NAICS codes, it's got employment. So it's just another data set that could be used. But to be honest with you, it's 3:30, Trung. I'm kind of at the point I don't know what else to show y'all. Is there something you think we need to talk through, or?
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. And Trung, the next time you come to the coast, let me know.
Will do.
And then I can go through some of this more with you face to face. So, Jonathan, Neil, y'all have anything else y'all want to talk about?
No.
Okay. Well, thank y'all for enduring to the end, and we'll go ahead and close this out, and thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
Bye.
Bruce.